feed. It's built from county line, at least that's what this channel's called. I started this channel years ago and was gonna take it a little bit more seriously, but life gets in the way, you don't get to make videos, but I think I'm gonna start posting more consistently. So this is my 66 Barracuda. It's the first car I ever had. I bought it whenever I was 14. As you can see, I've removed the cowl on these cars. They're notorious for stuff getting down inside of here. And then it just gets trapped inside of the cowl panel, and it just absolutely wreaks havoc on it. Took the lead line out. I mean, it looks really bad, but it's actually not as bad as you think. Cut the front floor pans out, pour 15 the inside of the cross member there where like the torsion bar boxes are. I got the floor pans over there. They're cut out and they're fitted. All I got to do is weld them. Bought a 4-speed hump for it. This was originally 3 on the tree, so it's going to be a 4-speed car. It's actually going to be a gasser. As you can see, all the speedway parts there. I have a straight axle that's going to go in this. But the first thing I want to do is all the metal work from like the floor up. And then once that's done, then the straight axle goes in, and then I can work on, there's a little bit on the trunk pan, a little bit of stuff I want to do. And the quarter bottoms are, need a little bit of work. But overall, it's not too bad aside from what you see. Now this cow, I actually cut this out of a parts car. I believe this out of a 64 or 65. I think it was 65 now that I think about it. And you can see it's not perfect. As I said, stuff gets trapped on in here, rusted out. But I mean, it is infinitely better than what I took off. So here is the panel that I removed. And I mean, you could even see where that rain gutter is. It's all jumble rotted. It was pretty bad. Now taking these off is a pretty lengthy process because they are basically plug welded on. So what you have to do is you have to drill each one of these plug welds out. And let me find my drill. And what I did was I bought these. These are actually like pinch weld or plug weld drill bits. And it's basically just a very small hole saw. Now, if you go on Amazon, I think I paid 26 bucks for 14 of these ends, and they're reversible. So you actually get 28 of them technically. Well, 28 cutting edges. So guys were complaining like, oh, they're soft. You know, after like 4 or 5 of these, you know, welds, it went dull. And I can tell you that I have used this same one to finish off that. Man, I had to do at least 1/3 of them on that. And then I've done them all the way down the line here with this single bit. And what I can tell you from experience is you just take some oil. I think this is just like 1030. And you just put it on the weld. And then you use it as a cutting oil. And then as you get about halfway through, pull it out, maybe add a little bit more oil. The wetter, the better. And then you take a pick, and this can get clogged up with metal down in there, and you can clean it out with the pick. But I found that the more oil that you use, that doesn't actually really clog. So I think that's what's happened to people is they're either spinning it way too fast, and I would say just spin it fast to get the initial ring cut, like just a ring scored in it to help center it, and then slow your speed down as you chew through it. Now it has a pin, and this pin pushes in. It's sprung, and it actually was about that long, and I broke it. So what I did was I put in the drill, and I took a grinder, and I spun the drill, and then I sharpened the tip up. And actually, I think the shorter tip works much better than the long tip, how it was long originally. So, yeah, another thing I want to update is this roof was rusty. So I'm going to have to DA it all down. And after I sand it a little bit, I actually think it's going to be not as much work as I thought. But I wanted to try this product that I had. I've had it a long time. And you'll see it online. It's Seal. And it says paint over rust and creates a black primer. And it converts rust, right? Yeah, it converts the very top layer and it turns it black. You know what I mean? If this was a trailer or whatever. But then you see videos online that it comes back, like the rust comes back. And underneath the primer, what is that? That's rust. So yeah, I don't think this stuff is worth your time. I would not use it. Even if you D8'd it down and then used it, you went through all that work. This was just kind of more of an experiment because the roof needs D8 down anyway. And I already had it, and it didn't take that much to just put a coating on it. I did 2 coats, and I could not be less impressed with it. So I would absolutely stay away from Cora-Seal. I would stick with like a rust mort, or a really good option for like non-body panels is Pour 15 or other rust encapsulators. They all seem to perform the same. I think this one's from Napa. It's like truck frame. I use the truck frame rust encapsulator, and then this is the new stuff that they just came out with. I swear it's the same stuff though. But yeah, it does a really good job. It hardens up. It does not have UV protection, so if you're going to put it somewhere that it's going to be exposed to the sun, you have to put a top coat over it, like, you know, Rust-Oleum paint, or maybe something a little bit better out of an air gun would be even better than that. But yeah, it looks like shit right now, but it's not going to look like that forever. So, like I said, I am 36. I bought this car whenever I was 14. I've had a bunch of Mopars over the years. This is just, I mean, it's sentimental. Honestly, if I didn't have the sentimental value to it, I probably would not be doing as much work as I am. But now that I'm a little bit older, I actually have the skill set, and I'm not a professional at metalwork, but I'm pretty decent at metalwork. So I'm really confident that I can fix whatever needs fixed. I'll patch these holes. My goal is to get the cowl done by Sunday. And that's going to be patching it. I'm going to run over this with a DA, and then I'm going to Pour 15 the hole underneath of it. Probably going to put a top coat over top of the Pour 15. I'm going to encapsulate all the rust. Underneath, I'm going to also put Pour 15. Anything that has rust will be removed or encapsulated. And essentially this thing, I'm thinking, is going to be, I don't know. The motor's right here, buried behind all this shit. It's basically going to be a 360 Magnum car with some really good heads and a good top end. And it's going to be a gasser. So believe it or not, this K-member here, these things are fucking heavy, man. I didn't realize it, even in these early A bodies, that it's actually got a narrower frame, more narrow frame. So you would think that that would be lighter, but really it's not. So all of this is going to be gone, which sounds like a lot of work, but in reality, it's only 4 bolts, and these 2 torsion bars, they literally knock out the back. There's like 2 clips that retain them, and you knock them out the back, and that's it. And the front wheels and everything will come, the control arms, I got to unbolt them, and the shock. So I got to do that. But aside from that, everything else will just drop out the bottom and slide off to the side. And I'll measure off of the drip holes on it. And a straight axle it's pretty straightforward. I'll rehang the fenders on it. And believe it or not, like the bolt-on parts, I was very young whenever I bought these. And that's kind of the best part of the car. These are from California. That's an NOS door from Chrysler that was just never put on a car. And then that door is quasi-shitty, but not that bad. I could do a door bottom or something on it. But if I'm getting to that point, I'm really far along. So a lot of guys will get like kind of put off or like deterred from fixing stuff like this. But if you just have like a simple 2-car garage and there's a Harbor Freight near you, you can do it too. So yeah, but this car wasn't really anything super special. It's a 3-speed, and if you don't know what 3 on the tree means, it was column, like a column shift, but there was 3 gears, and it had a clutch pedal. So I have all the clutch pedals and everything that I need for a manual. Mopars used what this is called a Z-bar. So instead of a clutch cable, it was literally a linkage, and it would actuate your throwout bearing. So you have to like weld something on if it was an automatic car, but it already has it. So it's going to be a 4-speed manual, and What I'm hoping is that it's going to be like a drag and drive car. Not this year. I'm not going to make drag week this year. There's just no way. But maybe next year. So I'm going to try to run in a B gas gasser class, which if you're looking at this, you're probably like, dude, you're delusional. There's like no way that you're going to get this car together. But I mean, you'd be surprised whenever you actually put the time in and you're consistent on what you can fix. So like for instance, like this car here, it's basically can be used as a daily driver. It's a slant 6 that I built, and I rebuilt the motor, the transmission, and everything mechanically. And by everything mechanically, I mean brake lines, wheel cylinders, brake pads. The engine was I rebuilt the engine right here. I rebuilt the transmission, put a shift kit in it, put a higher stall torque converter in it. It's not lightning fast, but it's like I ported the head, put a cam in it, 4-barrel intake, Mopar header. And it's a slant 6, but I'd say it runs about like a factory small block Mopar, and it lopes and it sounds good. And with the amount of work that I did, a couple people couldn't believe that I did a lot of that, most of it in just, one summer. That car was up and running. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you just kind of put your mind to it, you can get it done. So then I'm also going to have to learn how to do some lead work, because they actually there's a lead line. So instead of back then, instead of a like a fiberglass filler or whatever, they would actually lead the panels together, and they do the same thing on the quarter panels. And I would imagine that the lead line is somewhere in here. I honestly don't know on this model. But back then, these had the largest automotive glass of its time. I can't remember what company, but they actually made this glass for Chrysler. So it's kind of a weird, little car, but it was actually made to compete with European cars, and they offered this car in the 273. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep updating you guys, and then as we go, and maybe the next live will be like some patches and stuff on it. So I'm not going to ramble too long. 12-minute video. It's getting kind of long. I'm going to hop off, and I will, just keep grinding away at it. All right. Let me figure out how to turn this thing off, and I'll see you guys on the next one.